The Big Bang, the single and most popular hypothesis for solid proof regarding the origin of the universe, has sparked a lot of debate, attention, and effort from people all over the world, trying to figure out exactly how it all began. But what if the Big Bang never happened? Though this vast cosmos had to begin somewhere, what if that point was never the Big Bang? Were everyone's efforts over the last several decades wasted on something that never happened? A surprising discovery made by the James Webb telescope has gone viral, and it's now difficult to believe the existence of this Big Bang hypothesis and the beginning of the universe. So how did this bang actually happen? Well, keep watching and we'll tell you. The Big Bang is most likely and the only response you'll get if you ask a scientist how the universe came to be. Over decades, it's been believed that the enormous expanse of the empty space that separates our universe's stars, galaxies, and cosmic web of large-scale structure from one another was not always that way. Instead, the universe evolved into its current condition through expansion and cooling from a hot, homogeneous, dense, matter and radiation-filled explosion called the Big Bang. The underlying principles of the Big Bang are rather simple. The Big Bang Theory, in a nutshell, asserts that matter in the universe's history and present both began to exist at the same time, some 13.8 billion years ago. All matter had, at this time, congregated into a singular bubble, which was essentially a tiny, hot ball with infinite density. The universe as we know it began when this bubble abruptly exploded and started to expand, as it continues to do, even today. However, many well-known scientists and astronauts who have their own good and valid reasons not to believe in the Big Bang Theory immediately rejected all of this. However, throughout time, numerous arguments in support of the hypothesis somewhere demonstrated that it was in fact correct. Although a set of educated people have always maintained that this is still untrue and simply made up, scientists have in fact covered various phenomena to actually notice it happening. However, according to a brand new astonishing revelation uncovered by the James Webb Space Telescope, the Big Bang may have never occurred. Or, more significantly, even if it did occur at some point, was not the beginning of things. The state-of-the-art James Webb Space Telescope was built by NASA to peer into the far reaches of the universe and back into the beginning of time. It has already achieved outstanding success, and now that it has made a startling discovery about the Big Bang with convincing evidence, it's very difficult not to believe it. So, one of the biggest claims made by this Big Bang hypothesis is that the universe has been continuously expanding since 13.8 billion years ago, when the explosion occurred, and is also currently. However, now, according to Eric Lerner, a science writer and independent researcher, the latest James Webb Space Telescope images undermine this Big Bang hypothesis' key foundation assertion, and needless to say, everyone's shocked. Even though Eric Lerner is a firm believer that the Big Bang never happened, even writing a book titled the same, he now has some convincing evidence to support his claims in the form of James Webb Space Telescope's revelations. The photographs taken by the telescope show a very high number of galaxies, as well as galaxies that are extremely smooth, tiny, and old. The authors of the published reports note, the overwhelming quantity of galaxies, however, appears to have created the panic, and the galaxies themselves appear to be extremely irregular and totally incompatible with the Big Bang idea. Basically, it's believed that there exists some kind of optical illusion in the universe that is constantly expanding, because of which the galaxies don't get smaller as they're observed from a longer distance, like any other object in an expanding universe. The assumption also implies that the galaxy's brightness should have diminished as it got farther away from us, and should start to increase once you exceed a certain threshold. In normal, non-expanding space, objects appear larger concerning their distance, which is in stark contrast to what the James Webb Space Telescope has found. Many galaxies, particularly the most ancient, have disc-like forms rather than being irregular, as revealed by the telescope. Furthermore, JWST's superior resolving power and imaging capabilities have revealed this even for galaxies that previously appeared as irregular blobs with Hubble. Not to mention that, with the telescope's improved resolution, nearby galaxies appear smaller and more compact, which shouldn't have been the case if the universe is still expanding. In other words, every galaxy that the JWST discovers is precisely the same size as nearby galaxies, in contrast to what the Big Bang Theory predicts. This shows that the universe might not be growing or expanding, and may be instead a fixed size. The two observations are now literally in conflict with one another. The JWST photos show a trend toward getting smaller and smaller. Even galaxies with greater light and mass than the Milky Way appear to be 2 to 3 times smaller in these images. And the new galaxies have redshifts that are 2 to 3 times greater than and nearly identical to the Hubble Space Telescope photos. To achieve their prediction that the universe isn't expanding at all, the researchers even employed a non-growing universe with redshift proportional to the distance, and their observations were the opposite of what might expect from an expanding universe. Their forecast, however, came true, straight away rejecting the Big Bang hypothesis. Eric Lerner, who also has quoted the inflation idea, according to which the cosmos initially expanded at a rate of several orders of magnitude faster than the speed of light, is a key tenet of the Big Bang Theory. However, experiments have been unable to demonstrate proof of cosmic inflation, and the hypothesis has been dogged by perplexing issues ever since it was first proposed. And now that James Webb has made the same revelation, even one of the theory's founders, Paul Steinhardt, has rejected the theory as incorrect and scientifically useless, which is pretty big, I'd say. According to another astounding discovery by James Webb, it's discovered in photos taken by the telescope that some of the galaxies present in the universe are in fact much older than 14 billion years ago, which shouldn't have been the case if the existence of such galaxies in the universe came due to such a sudden expansion titled the Big Bang Theory. Yet, another piece of powerful evidence states that it might not have even happened at all, or that the Big Bang is not actually the beginning of it all. It is now nearly impossible to publish articles of the Big Bang in any astronomical journal because, according to the published literature, the Big Bang currently makes up 16 incorrect predictions and 1 correct prediction. The abundance of deuterium, an isotope of hydrogen that is insufficient to take up the space required for the possibility of a Big Bang ever occurring, it might come as a surprise, but such insights were revealed by the Hubble Space Telescope as well, though they were not given much significance at that time. Unquestionably, it's true that this new set of findings poses a fascinating issue for cosmologists to try and solve, as well as an intriguing test for our current cosmological ideas. But ultimately, the Big Bang might not have been the very beginning of the universe, but it is the beginning of our universe as we have come to know it over the past however many decades. It might not be the actual start, but it was for all of us as we believed and tried so hard to prove it finally. But it might not be the full story in and of itself, but rather an important element of the larger cosmic story that binds all of us as particles in this space soup. Well, everyone, that wraps up our video today, but we really appreciate you staying with us. Please hit that subscribe button on this video and give it a like. And be sure to turn on the notification bells if you want to do that thing and get notified. Because, yeah, we'll see you again soon, but until then, be careful.